Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, host Imperial Dane, the one and only Master Propaganda Heroes like Defender over the Fatherland, off here to a 1v1 on Twin Beaches. North we have Hanwoo going here with US 82nd Airborne straight to the airdropped 30 cals. Versus in the south, DexN here with Deutschland.
Pioneers standing by.
Setting forth here with the 26th Panzer Division, 2nd Panzer Grenadier Company. A lot of scouts out here for Hanwoo, who seems to be going for the classic USF builds of just going for a bunch of scouts and back them up with 30 cals. In this case, airdropped 30 cals. Spicy. Grenadiers here for DexN as he moves forward for Deutschland. As always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters for the continued generous and wonderful support of the Propagandacast. Keeps making all these videos possible. And a big thanks to keep commenting and liking them as well. Really helps out there with the YouTube algorithm. So, South side party is busy. Going for the classic triple cap here, or triple party opening here. Is particularly handy on this map. Some units as well here for Hanwoo, but definitely expecting more 30 cals to be airdropped in here because he's got no infantry. Typically, if you're going to go in for like this, you typically rely on the 30 cals to some extent being your infantry. Unit's almost done there for Hanwoo and the 82nd Airborne. C Company. Pioneers, they're busy. Otherwise, a bit quiet here so far. Nothing too significant. There go Grenadiers and Nears, connecting cases and one Garand. Scouts quickly run for the building. And making sure to lock the door after them this time around. Actually, even the MG42, fairly early MG42 I feel. She's planning terror here. Typically either go for like the MG42 first, you go for like 2 Grenadiers, then the MG42. Dexing on Grenadier MG42 feels a bit out of the ordinary compared to like how most Vanguard players go for it at the moment. Of course, that does not mean it is bad. Got the third coast map ready, trying to get under, but they exposed them out in the opening, quickly getting suppressed. At that stage, you might honestly just well retreated right off the bat then. Meanwhile, we got Hanwoo there with a second 30 cal being airdrop. MG42 running, probably hoping to get the MG42 back to the map, but there to go smoke out. DexN's planning here so far is hitting several obstacles face first. Rushing to the building here. Fortunately for him, the units do not have the mission to drop a satellite charge. That said, the Grenadiers been more easily to dodge it than the machine gun. 30 cal holding up here. And we got a mortar for DexN trying to counter the 30 cals and whatnot. The mortars did get above. So I could see they're working out, and there goes second 30 cal was in fact airdropped onto the southern viewpoint. Starting giving DexN's opening here in early game a bit more flavour of American boot polish.
Granatwerfer team deployed.
Mortar team out here for DexN, the Granatenwerfer. Come on, Jürgen, and remember some mortar bombs this time.
Our territory is exposed. We must re-establish a connection.
There you go, the news from the mortar here. There you go, as you might notice, the mortar bombs land a lot faster this time around. This definitely makes the mortar a bit more impactful. And of course, the 30 cal still enjoys that American force field protection, and of course, in fact, takes no casualties here. The crucial part is, though, the mortar barrage is a bit more effective because it hits faster. So that does mean the 30 cal is at least theoretically forced to reconsider its position faster. Of course, again, in this case, the 30 cal was exceedingly lucky. Somehow, despite taking so many mortar hits directly on it, no casualties were inflicted. So, machine guns and pioneers in the move here. One of each of the sort of infantry company units should make the question is going to go for a sniper as well. Second 30 cal here, but yeah, DexN's early game definitely struggling. We got here Hanwoo with a half-type being rushed. I was ready, of course, got the captain. Since he's still going to go for infantry support center, even if they did allow the other support teams to get the captain, they still don't get the captain for free. And that's really a big advantage. Like, imagine if for the Wehrmacht, like, the difference between going for Luftwaffe company and Panzer company is like one in the buildings just gave you free units. Like, that building would have a significant play rate over the other building. Because that is such a significant, like, tempo advantage to be gaining. Half-track almost done here for Hanwoo.
Silence! Grenadiers ready. Capture complete.
Panzer going to come in for DexN. Medic bunker, they're almost done.
Bunker will be a
There you
medical
go.
facility
Medic
momentarily.
upgrade on the way there for DexN. Guess he's planning to go for some Panzer Grenadier here versus Hanwoo and the Americans. And there you go, more slaying some hits in here.
Commandant, territory sector lost.
And he's closing in. Up north, you have to, of course, lead an assault team pushing back DexN away from there. He's got the southern field point, but he's about to lose the cutoff point. It's a pretty brutal fight here. Hanwoo going in hard. DexN desperately throwing in units to try and hold it. Can go for Panther Grenadier squad soon, but at the same time, he needs something to do with that half-track. So he's going to have to go for like a Pack 40 or go for Luftwaffe for the LG-40. But the question, of course, then is, does DexN want to do that under current circumstances? So far, Hanwoo is leveraging the intense strength of the American early game, involving 30 cals and half-tracks here versus DexN, and the fact that, you know, you just don't really have, like, you know, fast counters to it unless you're significantly ahead of your opponent. Mine goes off here, losing only one scout. They're here for Hanwoo. Fortunate for him. Less fortunate for DexN. Witchland. Pushing forward here for a counterattack.
Confirmed. Light
After, of course,
vehicles
finding
can
here
now
the front
raid
line
enemy
units
territory
reinforcement,
and
very
capture
great here for
resources.
Hanwoo. And DexN here surpasses us by going for Mechanized. Certainly a solid battle. We could see him going for the Arcot here. But at the same time, it doesn't look right, like say, any options towards the halfway there. Got 30 can't bit of trouble here. With the mortar, pioneers and engineers. Scout and trouble further south. The fuel con has been liberated from the Americans. Smoke deployed. Cut off one orbs retained, but still really just strong early game here out of the Americans. DexN is definitely feeling the heat and the beatings. Paratroopers being airdropped. I imagine that again. Oh, we got Panther on the way there, thumbs up. But again, kinda betting on the Arctot here out of DexN.
SMG has us range.
Paratroop dropping right onto the
Our
fuel
Panther
point here.
Grenadier Company headquarters is sustaining damage.
Definitely leveraging the, you know,
Sectors are
aim ability
isolated.
of the
We'll
battle
be
groups. Like
covered.
just hit all of DexN's, you know, weak spots. There's the field points and try and like further like gain any advantages you can over him.
Panzer Grenadier
There you go.
squad
Panzer's
standing
Pioneers
by.
rushing in here. Pioneers should be able to go to the point.
An
Red did
officer is being
nope.
installed for
At least
our
prevent the
Panther
American
Grenadier
grab it, and the
Company.
Panthers move in here. Narrowly saving DexN. Actually inflicting some heavy losses on the paratroopers. At least some damage. And officer squad scores will boost the Panther gun. He's actually cancelled the Pack 40 for that. Fortunately for him, though, Hanwoo isn't quite upgrading the half-track to say the M16, which definitely would force him to go for the Pack 40. Might also be that Jackson's just, like, even he went for that, thinking he can make it work, and just, you know, go for an arc-arc to then counter this.
Headquarters
So only
has
some
an officer
potential
station.
possibility. There you go. Got a fighting position up here for Mr. Hanwoo, and it's clearly going to be a mortar pit. South Pioneers advance up with the 30 cal, screened by 2 scout squads. Half rushing in, machine in trouble, quick routed. So much going on here as DexN continues his drive towards the Arctard. I assume it is. I mean, it could be the Stu David Starstrom. Very well, also a possibility. I don't think it'd be a bad one. But don't know what most players feel like go for at the moment. I do feel like the Arctard is a bit more likely. It is also just a bit cheaper to get out overall in terms of, you know, not being
The
packaged
enemy has
with
taken our
something else.
territory. The enemy has taken a victory point.
The men are
Troops
ready.
moving up. Mortars already managed to be veteran 2-1.
Ready. Where to?
Then having faster mortar rounds also makes it just harder to dodge, which again just means the more consistent deals damage, which tend to be one of the issues with the mortar back in the day. You know, not very consistent unless you're dealing with an American mortar or, you know, anything with airburst shells. So for example, the German mortar tended to be a lot less utilized. Now we got DexN with the Pack 40. Not an Arctard here, so it might just be
SMG has us ready.
D with Starstorm, or maybe still going to go for the Arctard. Up north here, Pioneers in a ferocious fight there, falling back, having done their part to sever the American chain of command here on the beaches. I need someone on the cutoff point here. Is once more Hanwoo descends upon. No, going for the mortar set. They've got Nartin there.
Anti-tank gun and crew
Panther's
are
ready.
for
Pack
order.
40 out as well here. And there go ND42 team saving here the mortar's
Alert.
bacon.
Sector overrun.
Getting spread all across the map. Satchel charge. Running to the scouts. Got the half tracks on the move, catching the pioneers here. But this time around, we have the Pack 40 noting veterans. One in there, go, good shot. The rest has a chance of getting off another shot before it gets past here, but yeah, it didn't. Again, it was very much the rest would require that Hanwoo was just a bit slower. Going here for the anti-tank upgrade, probably for the artillery, and of course, does he no, it does go for the artillery after all. He does go for it. I mean, it's fine.
Aid-Rat has arrived.
Of course, as the anti-tank half-tracks may have some struggles, depending on how well Hanwoo plays them. By the way, after that, the 232. Engineers on the way here for Hanwoo to help prepare with his half-tracks. Perhaps also get some lines for this all. Perhaps there's some more sinister motive here under, in play by Hanwoo. South side Panther pushing back the scout team. We'll need some support against that 30 cal. There we go. Arctad here. Engaged with the anti-tank half-track. Pack 40 meanwhile is nowhere near enough. It's like assist here. Always would be great hit for DexN, considering Hanwoo for some reason is anti-tank half-track at half health. But definitely, I think, wasn't super ideal. Nothing surprised here. Mortify going down here.
The enemy remains stubborn. We are down to 300 points.
We're losing men here.
First,
An Acht-Rat is standing by for deployment.
putting back the Panthers for healing more than anything. I think that's smart move anyways. Just be a waste of manpower. And that's manpower that could be used like elsewhere here for DexN. What's also neat is some repairs here for this heavy armored car. Which, if anything, will only become more necessary as the number of potential anti-tank half increase for Hanwoo. DexN seems to be somewhat stabilizing now here, even if Hanwoo and the Americans continue to enjoy a strong showing on the map in terms of control.
Territory sector lost.
And here's Panther against mortar on the way here, all infantry moving ahead here.
Man down! He's dead!
Roll for fresh into the DexN sees the north side here.
Keep calm, pioneer!
The Zuka teams for Hanwoo. Will DexN go for another Arctad, or is there something that is planning our way? Regular half engaged here with the Arctad. Autocannon punching through the armor like it's made out of cardboard.
Commandant, territory sector lost. Now.
Panthers going to South Peak, finding off the MS American scouts push back, leave just the paratroop to put it up the front line here. Deter the Germans advancing. Come on, Eugene! I need you to aim that light machine gun properly.
Enemy forces have claimed our territory.
Paratroop then rounded here. Interesting enough, it seems like he was actually focused. Oh, didn't quite focus just the Panther. No, he's done only, but didn't feel like it. Yeah. Which definitely aided the Panther because we've got another squad there for DexN. More Panzer Grenadier. Pack 40 that's been sent in so far here, I think, on his own. But looks like it actually works out here. Catches here Hanwoo's anti-tank half-track. This is part of some elaborate baiting operation there by DexN versus Hanwoo. Or what exactly happened that caused him to like rush in like that. But either way, that worked out really well for DexN. Taking out the anti-tank half-track is definitely a blow there to him. He's going for bazooka teams, which certainly should at least to some extent help mitigate that. More Pioneers in trouble. Second, Panzer going to squad out. South side machine holding up here. Still got that Grenadier there for the out of DexN. 5 casualties, was only pushing veterans here too. Might actually see Valmont mortar hit veteran scene. 3 even? That'd be a miracle. Of course, an officer's quarters there could assist DexN in that particular build. We shall have to see. Oh wait. Fresh favorite Truppen there out of
What needs stealing this?
DexN's Deutschland stronghold, and he's actually going for a second multi. I mean, that's not a bad choice either, but part of me would probably recommend the officer's quarters before going for a second mortar here. Just the first mortar can like hit those higher levels of veterans faster. Certainly having more mortars does provide DexN with more mortars. It's just pretty rare, I feel like, in a 1v1 to see like Valmont play commits like more I mean, even like one mortar tends to be quite rare, I feel like. Of course, the buff might change that, but then like 2 mortars out of ammo is very unheard of. So it is an interesting choice there out of DexN. It certainly might make it difficult for opponent in some areas. Even they're getting some units on retreat there. I mean, he's going for like double mortars. A part of me really would recommend the officers' quarters, so you can just get them up to their 2 and 3 higher faster. Meanwhile, Hanwoo there with the tank depot bringing forwards the armoured lunchboxes of democracy, most likely. And Admevs they're pulling forwards. Forming up a little mortar battery there. I understand it's not something the Germans typically spread out the mortars part to make a pound battery of them, but also they could provide more, you know, broader support. Typically a bit spread out. But, staying out of the way. Bigger push being prepared here. 2 mortars, Panzers, Grenadiers. Could make for like a pretty decent push here by DexN if properly actually like throwing the flare. Some smoke strings here and there. Could make things tough. He's trying to take out, it seems like, his opponent's mortar pit with his own mortars. Could work out, but his opponent remembers he's got airburst shells. That could backfire. Especially against him, they're so close to each other. Airburst shells he could work out. It seems like Hanwoo, like so many other American players, almost have like completely forgotten about the ability. Of course, they haven't used the mortars, which is wrong. Oh dear, Panther's will right out. DexN Street there. Very much became his own doing, costing him a pretty solid battery 2 Panzer Grenadiers scored. Does get the mortar pit, but I do not think a Panzer Grenadier squad of battery 2 is remotely worth that. And now, of course, the sportmen are quite exposed. Another Panther squad is on the way. No sign of any armor on the way here for DexN. No shoots. Take upwards. Might be home just a couple of Panthers. We'll have to see. The South 30 cals poking forward, see flanking here. DexN's unfortunately shooting through there. From north, the armored covering him down with the Bazooka teams. DexN T3 there, that is very great there for DexN's armored car, and for DexN, less so for Hanwoo's infantry.
The enemy is stealing our territory from us.
Oh, his blood pressure. Panzer is moving forward with the Sturmgewehre. And there goes Sherman on the way there for DexN. DexN Hanwoo. And the pioneers with the 30 cal. Moving forwards here. Sherman halfway done.
Bring up support. Put us to work.
176 was 124.
They're shooting at us! Don't go! Aim the rifle and fire!
Force back up to Granny. South check's almost on done. We got M16 on the way there for him. Ooh, grenade scores a wipe. They brutal loss there for Hanwoo as the scouts could turn into chunks of goulash. DexN so back to pushing forward. He might get the mortar a bit further up here. Close to 22 on that one. Feels like it's been ages since I've seen like down up mortar like just hit veterans too.
Commander, we have
aircraft tower tech completely lit up there. Emergency, nice position here. Covering the mortars there with some nasty fire. We've got the 15 bunch up coming under heavy scrutiny. There go veterans on the Gnadenwerfer.
Sector now under enemy
Trying to fire its barrages faster, I think. That makes the mortars more accurate. That's a bad roll. Could be a bit off on the for Hanwoo. Theory, he's very close to the Panther. There, got Bazooka knocked out. The Sherman, though, is not daunted. Even as DexN goes for the Pack 40. Another one, though. Again, I feel like if he's going to go for the Panther, he might as well just suit up for that. There go White Frost being used effectively to burn out DexN pushing through there. Second Pack 40 outside the field, but we see some 30 cal crew here.
sectors are isolated. We have been cut off.
And there you go, MG-42T pushed out.
Enemy
Arclight
forces
replacement
have
pioneers, hard
captured
to
a
work.
victory point.
Fun fact about the Arclight was actually based on the truck design and then basically converted into like a
Panzer
heavy
Grenadier
armored
has
car.
been
So,
deployed to the front.
bit of a fun fact. In fact, pretty much most, if not all of the early war German light vehicles just based off some kind of like, you know, more utility design, like a truck or a car, which then bases up armored and slaps some guns on it. South side 30 cal team actually goes down to the mortars. Impressive. Mortars are actually becoming a bit of a problem and a headache here for Hanwoo. That is kind of impressive. Again, I think it could become a bit more impressive with an officer's quarters. We actually got a third Panther squad. He's
We have
really
command
leaning hard
points
into them.
evading use.
Fascinating. As we got a Sherman number 2 on the way here for Hanwoo. Not to be stopped, not to be halted. It is tracks. 4 more Sherman tanks at it. And more teams being brought up.
The enemy has claimed our
That's the kitty
territory
cat there.
for
Apparently
their
just
own.
not touching the 30 cal. I can't believe the Americans fight with this crap. Another pit, they're being prepared. Case is not going for the Panther at all here, despite obviously with 2 Shermans on the field, there's an argument for going for the Panther. Instead, it's got spotting scopes. Boys are taking absolutely just scopes and Panther 4s. I feel like here DexN might be getting a bit too greedy. 4th Panzer Grenadier squad. Wowzer. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen like any Valorant player commit to 4 Panzer Grenadier squads. I definitely don't think it's a bad choice, though it might be a bit excessive. I'd still recommend these at this point in the match, when his opponent's like sounds like hitting with multiple tanks, to maybe, just maybe, consider some tanks of his own first. Oh, Arclight hits a mine, massive damage, pack forces rain down, arm-piercing death upon the Sherman. It's real miss, pursuit Russian crew going for the heavy armor car, and it goes up in flames. And there we go, we got airdrop units here, right onto the mortar teams. But DexN, of course, panics, or at least he's decided to take a chance, of course, entirely. I mean, not that he has not much other choice here, but it's worth pointing out there. Certainly feels just a bit amusing. Yeah, no sign of armor here out of DexN or Deutschland, but he's got 4 Panzer going into his squads. That is commitment here.
Territory sector
That is
lost.
commitment. That's would certainly agree. Swimming in with the Sturmgewehre. Typically, actual Panzer Grenadier units with like heavy numbers of assault rifles would be a very late war thing, at least on paper. Started with the Panzer Brigades of late 1944, which happened after Normandy. Back by Sean. And then later would sort of happen with the regular Panzer divisions and possibly the Panzer Grenadier divisions. Well, they're sort of like very late 1944, sort of 1945. Little fun fact there. And even there, they would typically support it by at least some Panzer Grenadier elements, just heavily
The
equipped
enemy has claimed our
MV-42s.
sector.
Little fun thing. 1741. Still no tanks out of it, DexN. Got the packs on the way. Panzer Grenadiers holding up here, advancing steadily.
We have lost the sector.
This is Sturmgewehre. Going to the 30 cals here. In down to the ground. South side here. Punch coming up here on the flank. Cut through here. Under this front line. X-Men 10 command points. Not entirely sure what the game plan is. I mean, my guess is still Panthers, but who knows? And that's on the fuel point. I mean, DexN's managed to turn things around fairly well there, if anything, considering the situation, though. With a 3rd Sherman on the way, then DexN basically just relying on 2-pack 40s. I do think there's certainly some potential for things to go very wrong for DexN if he's not careful very fast. You mean very fast. We'll have to see there, but... Sherman number 3 halfway down here for Hanwoo. Good shots there, though. I mean, good use of the mortars flare bullets, by the way. Certainly been overlooked there. Again, most fan players overlook the mortars in the first place.
Commandant,
Good use of the flare there. 2 thumbs up to DexN. Max has definitely lost a bit of momentum. I think Hanwoo's a bit struggling here to figure out how to deal with DexN here. Also worth noting, DexN is using his ample number of pioneers to lay down an even more ample number of mines. 2 thumbs.
Victory point is under enemy control.
Very good work there by DexN and Deutschland so far. And the opening did look a bit conspicuous. Panzer's only down, the paratroops going with the Sturmgewehr, but we've got the paratroops fought with Brownings, Browning covering fire, and there goes Sherman to the rescue. Panzer goes in retreat, but it could also risk getting wiped out. Even worth noting here, DexN has nothing to really cover them with on retreat.
Sector now under enemy control.
Will he finally go for a Panther here?
Hey, Panther can be deployed.
There you go, Panther's now caught in a ball. Whatever that one is. Quick use of smoke there, thumbs up to Hanwoo. DexN very close to that Panther Model D, Ausführung D. Mortar crew wipe, and that was his most veteran one that might actually hit DexN with 3. A painful blow there for DexN. Again, an argument like, you know, maybe in officer's quarters. Like, I feel like if it commits like double mortars, you'd really want that officer's quarters and get them to achieve 3 faster, because with that increased damage that it seems to be mentioned there, I'd say plus rate of fire. That seems like a pretty good thing to have for your mortars. So now again, with that, like, you know, increase to the projectile speed so they actually hit faster, that could have some very uncomfortable consequences for the opponent. So, just a quick note there. DexN then continues his very slow odyssey towards the Panther. Asuka team routed. Keep getting a delay there. Great though for Hanwoo that DexN's Panther keeps getting delayed in there. Goes upgunning the Sherman with the 7.61 version gun. And there you go, DexN.
We have been granted a Panther tank.
Some stuff there you go, Panther on the way, Model D there. Note the lack of a whole machine in there, which might have been something some of the earlier Panther models that lacked. I feel like I've seen some photos without it. How common this was, I don't know. Just wish they wouldn't go for the Panther version. At least going for like a Dunkelgelb with just actual camouflage patterns, making Zimmerit.
Enemy points at 300. Confirm.
I don't know. It's 235, 299. Germans on the move. 30 cal on the way there for Hanwoo.
Shit! That one grazed me!
Paratrooper forwards, Panther engaging here. Sherman off great post, Panther shoots and misses. I imagine Dex just gonna like eventually try and go for another Panther, but right now he actually has not enough units for it. Certainly would be a great time then to go for the officer's quarters for like his tier 1 units, and the mortars.
The enemy has taken
I just really want to see a veteran for the mortar, but again, if the mortar's actually kind of good now, I'd argue they was really worth getting officer's quarters for. They're all thought there. Meanwhile, and we'll bring up fresh 30 cals here to try and tame the German menace. In the south, the Panther will bring in only a few engineer scouts blocking a desperate holding fight that normally be like, you know, at least 10 minutes in some kind of like, you know, cheesy / dramatic World War II series on HBO. Alright, Sipowicz, we have to hold. Well, Pat's breakfast is gonna be delayed. Panther going here for the Sherman. This entire column with this rig exposed to the Panther is great for the Panther, less so for the Shermans. Also, really technical detail here, but the actual Panthers had terrible reverse speed. And like next to the reverse keys, these retreat reversed very slowly. They obviously not going to happen in a game like Temple of the Heroes, because that drives some people nuts, but that was an actual thing.
Infantry taking shots at us!
To the point that when some Panther commanders, once you get out of this trench, they're just reversing, they'd actually turn the entire thing around and just expose the rest of the enemy, just move out fast. 231 versus 281. Mines exploding here. Got a big pioneer push here out of Jackson, sweeping the territory hot fire. Far east, southeast, Panther hitting the field point there. We got
The adversary is trying to take one of our points.
Jackson's lead suddenly shrinking in here a bit.
You have orders? You need a mortar crew?
Still no officers' quarters. I mean, again, most of his other two units probably won't benefit too much, but like the mortars, I feel like would certainly find it helpful there.
The enemy have taken our territory.
Not much else happening on the battlefield. You could still, like, you know, pick something like the Vesper. Maybe I'll then go for pursuing artillery or mechanized assault. 131 to 70. North going to hold assault here, hold about 30 cal quite nicely. Attacks been going down many years. It's a bit of back and forth, but something feels like to me at least it could be lacking there. Like, I feel like Hanwoo probably could stand a bit more aggressive with the advantage he's holding, and DexN, of course, I mean, arguably also trying, you know, put effort into things. Particularly again with the officers' quarters, maybe some flares, then figure out an assault angle, and then like actually go with it. Like, you know, maybe using smoke to suppress some targets, or even bombard others. But DexN remains a bit more, it seems, cautious and hesitant, making it certainly easy here for Hanwoo to deal with them. 30 cal, they hits a mine. Pioneers are close to expiring. Very close call here for DexN. Further south, Predator on the move here. Predator loose on the 2 Granaden for team says they're trying to get out of there. And there goes satchel charge, I think. Oh, it's a grenade here. Okay, I thought he'd try and satchel charge in the Panther. That would have been pretty cool. Up north, American assault here. Sherman spearheading the effort. Panther getting squad absolutely devastated here by the Shermans. Painful blow there to DexN. And now that Panther Grenadier squad gone just like that. Ruthlessly cut down by Hanwoo.
Fixed. Now get back in the fight.
Enemy
Panther
forces have
Norfolks.
claimed our territory.
Fire incoming! Get to ground!
Got the Pioneers moving with the Flamming Air Fuzzling loose in the Scouts. Jones going for the Panther, misses the Panther. Line goes off. Germans then push back the Panther, got another fighting nest head by Hanwoo. Into the machine gun nest south side here, more pursuit teams on the run here in the face of Deutschland. Loading resources, but at the same time, he clearly wants more Panthers to help fight the Shermans, but he doesn't have enough population for it. I mean, he could still go for an officer's quarters there again, help his mortars out a bit, maybe. Just a thought.
Now have access to Sturmgewehre, Kommandant.
Gate mechan assault and the Starstorm assault rifles there. It kind of sits in the sort of same place, I feel like, as the MP40 upgrade for the Grenadiers. It's not worth it.
We're fucking pinned! Where's our support?
30 cal, push back, double mortars doing that part. We do get a punch company for DexN. I mean, you can actually call in that second Panther now. I don't know if DexN wants to do that. He wants a Panther 4, maybe a Sturm Panther actually with all the bazooka teams. It's possible. One thing to worth noting, of course, is DexN's mortar crews are wildly exposed and they're still very close to each other. It's like Shams rolling in there could quickly deprive DexN of both of his mortar teams. massive moments. Double grenade here. But we got automatic fire at the Panthers. We got assault fire or bomb grenades off as well here. DexN somewhat repositioning his mortars, but unfortunately not in a particularly helpful way to keep the mortars alive. I mean, the edge might position up on the lighthouse on the platform there, but at least the platforms have arrived here. Panther company ready.
Control of a sector.
Panther on the move. So what will be for DexN? Panther 4, Sturm Panzer 4, or another Panther after all. But it's intended to go for Starstorm with assault rifles. A sort of surprise twist out of DexN. You never know. Okay, he's going for Starstorm. He's not going for like another tank. He's actually going for Starstorm. He'll actually go for the assault rifle. That would be fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Will he do that? Is that DexN's plan here? Is that what he is scheming? There you go, Starstorm ready. He is. He actually is. Interesting. And officer scores in for the Panther Company, still nothing for the Infantry Company. That's certainly getting more intriguing by the moment. In off here, right in the Starstorm, doing a lot of damage to retreat, I think, already. I mean, just that little health that was to purchase machine guns is a great way for DexN to throw away his Starstorm and upgrade in a matter of seconds. Should try and run over the Panther with the Panther before Hanwoo realizes what's going on there. There we go. Almost wiped the entire paratroop squad here with a Panther. It's probably the fastest the Panther so far in CoH3's history got that many infantry kills. Trying to mine them with a Sherman, but the Panther's down to the other two Shermans. Needs to get some distance in there. Needs to leverage the armor.
Mechanized assault underway.
Almost got a Sherman here. Got it! Stinging blow there to Hanwoo. Stars up machine tape again. He's closing in. Forcing healing. Starts to move again here. Big push here supporting the Panther. Charging the hill. Panther's almost knocked out. Pax on the move here. No disarm exposed. Panther goes up in flames. Pax setting up as well awkwardly here. Both packs miss. And there you go. White Frosters in the pack 40s. Really messing things up for Dex. Unfortunate for him though, Hanwoo does not take this moment to charge in there. Opportunity to charge in. So losing the Panther is going to be painful there for DexN, even as Hanwoo's just churning out another Sherman. 76mm. South machines are moving to the 30 cal, still dug in there.
Shoot back, damn it! Taking direct fire!
Mortars all the way back there. Northeast shunting repairs. Starstorm got the point here. And there you go. Some sections trying to move there. There you go. Isolating enemy for 2 easy target here for Hanwoo's Sherman.
A machine gun has been destroyed.
There we go. Machine gun team down. Stinging blow that DexN. Looks like he's setting up for another Panther here, another Panzerkampfwagen 5. Seconds away here, and there you go. Nope. Instant reinforcing.
Squad leaders are ready to orchestrate mechanized assaults.
Great for Hanwoo. Of course, the more DexN's Panthers get delayed, the better.
We are losing control of a sector.
Casualty-wise, DexN's lead has suddenly been taken from, at least infantry-wise here, by Hanwoo.
We have territory cut off from supply.
Panzer Grenadiers on the move. And there you go, going in hardy with the Panther Grenadiers. Big push here. So many assault rifles here. And the 8 men of the 18 Airborne under Hanwoo's command are definitely not ready for that. We got more fighting that's being prepared here. 126 to 270. It continues to grow ever slowly. Germans moving in. MD-42 just left abandoned.
Sector
The
now
Panther
under
making
enemy
run for the
control.
MD-42, and there you go. Fresh Panther out here for action. With spotting scopes.
Use grenades! Use anything!
Military
Sector
tanks
lost.
holding back. Waiting for the right time to strike. Which apparently means right to the 2 pack crews there who immediately started about knocking down that Sherman a few pegs. Shot their bounce, but the 8-gunner crew did not. Remember, Jürgen, aim for the weak spot. There, it's Sherman. Most of it's a weak spot. These things are
One of
huge.
our anti-tank guns has been silenced.
Another Sherman on the way there. For Hanwoo as another one goes up in flames as well.
Increased security around
Panther
the
moving
HQ.
forwards
We are
here.
down to
Charging
100
in support
points.
of the Panther Grenadiers. Final grenade here goes off.
A Panther heavy Panther is awaiting deployment to your zone. Our frontline
Guns are
pioneers
burning
are
up.
dead.
You can see we got 95th and 73rd Sherman
Panther
right around the
secured
corner.
our territory from us.
Lot of fire there. Panther going pretty aggressive. One spot lacking a bit of support. The field's risky here for DexN with his one and only Panther, just saying. I mean, there's not really a lot of infantry, like, even in the same neighborhood. So if the Panther gets, like, stuck in any kind of bad situation, it's very much on its own here. So, not sure me feel that there.
Machine Gewehr open up! We're engaged! Machine Gewehr!
And there you go.
Territory sector lost.
More white phosphorus.
We have 75 points remaining.
Enemy infantry!
We have lost a squad of Panzer Grenadiere.
Back into the action! Those fucking taking hits!
30 cal, they're finally pushed out of this hidey hole there. On the cliffside, or between the rocks, what do they call that.
We're in shit! Take it!
Shermans continue to be a bit of a threat here for DexN.
Infantry regret shooting at us!
His force is just sort of slowly bleeding out. There you go, Captain moving in and catching the mortar crews here in a bit of a sticky spot. Panther on the move once more for Deutschland. Rolling ahead is the Panther. Overcommitting here with the Panther close over. We got a rocket strike as well. He narrowly dodging the rockets in the US Air Force, but the Panther has been driven close to the Shermans, increasing their effectiveness of their guns. But fortunately for DexN, not enough. As the shots fly off the Panther's frontal armor like rocks against frontal
The
armor.
enemy has claimed our sector.
And an Arctite here for DexN feels like a peculiar choice, perhaps one born out a bit of a mild desperation here for DexN. I think even a Panther would do more good than an Arctite. I guess DexN might have other priorities versus his opponent. 56 and 70, the clock continues to tick against DexN and Deutschland. More to fire here. 56 from 265. DexN continues along here like a very, very stubborn
We have
Panther, an old veteran here, starts some close actually to the Sturmgewehr, ripping through the bazooka team.
An Ascalon is standing by for deployment.
I'm going to pop the Stars Assault here at this range. There we go. Coming off though, and in the end it's just not enough. Meanwhile, Shem certainly making sure it's definitely not enough, as the Stars Assault does not help against Sherman tanks. Got the Panther running it on its own again here. I feel like the Panther zone here is a bit of a recurring theme here for DexN, and not a great recurring theme either. Further south, we got paratroops sneaking in. Panzer Grenadiers on the move, a total of 2 full squads here. 56 to 254. Germs rolling in, their guns blazing, delivering high velocity death. Anything German, almost at the armor car there, close call. Not close enough. Meanwhile, we've got the 2 mortar teams continue to lay down heavy and unyielding mortar fire there against American targets. Panther moving forwards again, and once more, crucially, unsupported. I feel like DexN is playing somewhat of fire there against his opponent with that move. Got the packs blasting, the Stossum leading the charge here. Fighting this right about done. He's actually a machinist. He's building another one right next to it, which seems a bit questionable. Considering this first one's being bombarded by mortars, like right next to the building plot there. That seems a bit detached. Sir, are you sure you want to build here? Yeah, come on. It's not like the Germans would shoot over there. That. Got a rocket strike against the Panther. Oh, the DexN bits is not to react here, moving it in a straight line. Increase the chance of the rockets hitting. No, it didn't nonetheless. Panther dying forward, see shots going through here.
Mechanized assault underway.
Got a flank here, gonna hit those mortars. Stossum, but trying to assist here, don't know if it's gonna be enough. Paxton, Panther moving forwards here. Hanwoo being cornered here. Rushing for the victory point, going for a triple cap here. Smart player there. Only punishing DexN, putting all its eggs into one basket up in the northern end of the map here. Savvy play there by Hanwoo, realizing what DexN pack forward, he's getting hit with a satchel charge. Ah, that was strangely close, yet also really far away from actually being something impressive. Panther moving forward, got the Fed, got no retreats, but still, the damage has been done. The bulwark for victory points has somewhat been brought down. There's still 2 points, 2 ticks now, rather than just 1.
We have 25 points left.
23. Panther in deep trouble. Pack 14 even deeper trouble here. 1 pack was all been taken down. Soon as the satchel charge up didn't clear them out immediately, it did make them easy to deal with. And with the pack squad and now the Panther about to get knocked out here, I think it's going to be at the end. Ace Panther though, pretty impressive, but not enough. For that, he's down to just 11 points here. And very much adrift at sea. Not much of anywhere what you're getting anyway. Now you got a fresh Panther out for DexN, but I think with 9 points left, no packs, and an awful lot of angry Americans, that made him enough. South charge on the mortar. Mortar definitely gone here. Half H war checking fleet. Imagine you'd come for the officers, but at that point, that's really, at this point, I don't think matters too much. 9 versus 251. Panther getting hammered here. DexN buys some precious moments here, some crucial seconds here versus opponent. Achtrad is down here. Armored Fist of Freedom completely smashes them apart here. Almost 240 feet.
Enemy forces have captured a victory point.
The clock is about to start ticking on DexN again.
To your zone.
He's lost most of his infantry as well here. Things are looking pretty rough for DexN once more. And at this point, compared to previous times, he just doesn't really have a lot of maneuver room. Not a lot of reserves to take from here.
Ready.
East Ostrom.
That's the Panzer.
Yeah.
Mechanized.
In glassy, but the Sherman's about to lose them. In fact, down to 1 man. 3 points left, 2 points left,
Fire back.
1 point left, and GG game over. Stinging loss there to Dex. I feel like he was close, but I think the lack of just building up like any number of like tanks, I think proved to be a bit the demise there. Again, particularly for example, like going for that second pack instead of just going for a Panther faster. I feel like sort of like, you know, was a bit of a slip there by Dex. But still, quite the fight there. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from it. This is Imperial. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye everyone.